I love you.
And how wholesome. And welcome back to Nat19 Vestige of Ophiuchus, Campaign 1, Session 15. Deco, what happened last time?
Oh, no inspiration, right?
Correct. Just give us your best recap.
We beat a monster.
Alright. You come to, I'm gonna share a map, what appears to be a big old brown bear drinking very peacefully at a pond. Just got his head sticking in. He's giving some gentle slurps, letting out the occasional.
Logan's like, all right, now watch as I mutilate that nature.
Dude, I hate it. Lexi's fine with this, but I'm upset.
Carrie and her inner Devin are sharpening knives.
As you watch it, the bear takes some more drinks, sits up, plops down on its butt, its feet just stretched forward, and scratches its head.
All right, Baloo. It's time to take it down.
Oh my God. Vogan has canonically seen Jungle Book.
It's my favorite movie.
The hobgoblin word for bear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I'm about to kill
adorable.
it. All right. Ah! I yell out toward the bear as I charge forward.
The bear looks over in your direction as you charge, and it gets up, and it just has this. It backs up several steps from you on all fours.
I'm eating good tonight! Ah!
All right.
And I go and attack him.
First turn is yours.
Why does he want to find a bear?
He's just testing his might, like a man.
Like a man.
Why does he want to fight a bear?
I remember when I was his age.
That's a hit.
Yeah!
I remember when I wrestled my first bear.
God.
Oh, you did 10 damage to the bear.
Oh.
You strike into
my
it,
God.
piercing it. It's like backs up from you as you hit it. Its body language changes. It rises up, tries to make itself look huge, putting its arms up.
Second attack!
It's a hit.
Die!
Oh, that poor bear.
Action, sir.
Oh my God. This poor bear. You hit. Oh my God.
Second attack.
Yeah, you hit. The bear's dead.
Die!
You rush
Oh,
up.
he's already done.
You rush up to the bear. As it gets up, it puts its big claws up and prepares to strike you. You lay into it. You annihilate the bear with a flurry of quick slashes and stabs from your claws. I'm not giving you experience for that bear.
I don't want it. I just wanted to use the cool toy.
Okay. As long as we're on the same page.
What the fuck? I didn't get to try out my new thing. Couldn't let me fucking paralyze it or something.
Well, we can find another bear, I guess, but I'm kidding.
Baby bear walks out.
It's small like you. Perfect.
Walks up, multi-attacks on Vogan. Crit.
Actually, help me, this bear is killing me!
You got him. We're over here talking. So I've been noticing. You've been getting a lot more. As soon as we came back yesterday, you went off to gather wood and potentially go out for more hunting. I was hoping, he looked over at Vogan, that we would maybe have a bit more of a thing to do here, but apparently, he's got this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's already dead!
Its son came out to play!
Secretly, it's Vogan wrestling with a dead bear.
This is a shot of the pathway up to where Vogan is, and you just hear the sounds of violence, and you see like a bear fly across the path.
You just see it in the background. Occasionally they come into the path and fight, but then keep disappearing into the bushes in the distance. Fucking Vogan, they're like halfway through the conversation. Vogan comes out, there's 3 bears all coming at him at once. He's just swiping.
Why can
Guys!
I always...
Guys!
We're just turned away. Whenever I had noticed that, I felt like it was hard to bring up back underground, but I wanted to speak with you when we got out, and I wanted to ask you, Lexi, because you're the only one that I can really ask about this.
Oh.
I know the others Vogan especially. They didn't take it nearly as hard as I believe you did, or I wanted to know about what you thought about getting that news yesterday, and wanted to know if you've had a rough time sleeping as I have these past few days without our friend with us.
I have, but I think it's really hard because I have a lot of like conflicting feelings about Raleigh. I mean, he did like a whole bunch of bad stuff, and I kind of talked to him about it, and he explained to me why he did all those bad things.
Really?
And it makes sense, and that's his business, that's his secret to tell. So he might tell you like when we get him back.
I plan on having a long conversation with him when he comes back.
Me too. I kind of didn't tell him the truth because I didn't know if I should or not. I feel mostly bad about that. I don't know if I should tell him the truth when we get him back. So I think I've just been mostly thinking about that.
I can relate, especially as of late. Was it something that you feel was incredibly important to keep from him?
He was talking about things that I was told to never talk about. I was really confused in the moment, and then I figured that I shouldn't talk about it.
Lexi, can I ask you something without you prying too much?
Mm-hmm.
Raleigh's predicament brought up some bad memories with me. I feel like Fenris and Vogan and Kitty, they've all been getting the wrong idea about something, and I feel I've not been truly honest. I don't want to be either.
I was talking to Fenris and Vogan about how I felt bad about lying to Raleigh and how I wasn't sure if I should tell him the truth. And they said that I'm under no obligation to tell him the truth if I don't feel like I should. So, if you want to keep secrets, then yeah, that's totally okay. But if they start to hurt people, then maybe you could reconsider it.
It's nothing that would bring harm to anyone, I don't believe. I don't wish to speak about it, but I feel it's something that would change their opinions. He looks over toward Vogan. Vogan in particular, when I spoke with him, he told me something that I didn't quite agree with about myself. Both Vogan and Fenris seemed to speak to me like I was incredibly trustworthy, and that I was somehow far more generous than I feel I am. I'm keeping this one to me, Lexi. I just wanted to tell someone that it's nothing that anyone needs to worry about here. It's something that I hope to put behind me after the whole Aristo thing. Perhaps it's something that I can only share with a couple people, so that I hope that it doesn't spread to the one person that it can't ever spread to.
I mean, it is your business, and you can do whatever you want. But I feel like because you're talking to me about it, that you're thinking about it a lot, and maybe it would help you if you were able to talk about it in like more detail and get other people's feedback about stuff.
He looks over at Vogan like as he's collecting his teeth. I feel like
Suckers are really in there!
I feel like I'm not. I don't know if I'm brave enough. I don't know if I'm brave enough to tell you.
I understand that.
You done over there, Vogan?
Those teeth were really hard as I come up. Just those teeth were really hard to pull out. The suckers are really in there.
Hi, Vogan. Nice teeth.
Oh, thanks. Hey, you want one?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Vogan.
You're welcome. Here, I tied a string around it so you can wear it like a necklace. I put it on for you.
It's cute and awful.
There's still a little bit of blood on it.
Ooh, it looks like that one really needed a root canal.
I would like to find a
Giant bear!
giant
God, necro brown bear!
Oh.
We should leave.
We gotta get out of here.
And then I run.
Feathers build up, and the Esper once again appears. Wings spread over her like a cocoon. They spread apart. Raleigh's body is with her.
We have done your task, as promised.
Then the beast that stalks the mountain is gone. And its heart.
I take out the heart.
She looks at it. This wasn't the thing I told you to kill.
Lightning flashes behind her, and now that it's out of the way, there is nothing that can stand against me.
She turns into a bear.
Turns into.
God.
Must have
Oh God!
A giant bear, but still with the 2 little sets of wings on it. And flowing blonde hair. Our contracts are then concluded, and I can aid you in as far as I said that I could. The life of the child will not be taken when they're born.
We thank you. We'll take the news down to the father once we're done here.
In as far as retrieving the soul of your friend goes, she floats down and the tips of her shoes just barely float a little bit above the ground. I have to remind you, the place that you're going to be going will be dangerous. I can't tell a lot about it because it is warded against attempts to see it. I can open a gate that should get you close enough that if you find whatever is holding the soul of your friend, if you break it or bring it back, then she motions towards Raleigh's body, which is just floating in like a lying down position above the basin. The body's already being restored to life. It simply waits for the soul to be willing to return.
Is everyone
that's
here
what it is.
prepared to take such a task?
Can't
I
be any more
guess.
danger. Yeah. No. It's fine. I was gonna
No, you
say
want to
something.
say something? You do it.
It's the moment has passed. As a time cleric, I can tell these things.
Comedic timing is part of her domain.
You know, whatever.
The wall that still stands of the building that was once surrounding this place, the doorway glows and it becomes incredibly foggy for a second and completely obscured. And then the fog becomes slightly more translucent for a second. Light pours out through it as if a connection was made to another place. It just throbs just with light that pours out, which then recedes back in. I will hold this open for a day. That is the best I can do for you.
Are we all ready?
Let's go see
Think
if a
so?
vampire.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
The fuck is that thing?
Dude, what is that thing?
That's
The
where
gate?
you're coming in.
Okay. It's pretty, thank God.
Oh,
What the
it looks
fuck
so
is that?
It looks
That's
Let
the
me
gate.
close
so
the bears.
inconspicuous.
Those are all doors.
Okay. Find a door.
I'm opening the one next to me.
I will go with
I
Fenris.
guess, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Heckin', you guys are throwing open them doors. Boop. I'm just gonna do that.
Miriam, what you doing? Pick a
Kitty,
door.
which door are you going to?
Okay.
Are you staying there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Throwing open that door. So you guys just all going to different doors. As you
No,
guys
I'm going with Fenris, man.
As you guys throw open all of those doors, they all contain effectively identical rooms that contain but each one has a couple shelves that appear to be built into the stone of the walls, and each one has a double bed inside of it. Hey, Izzy, are you logged into Fantasy Grounds?
Oh yeah, I'm in here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Could you go ahead and roll me a d8?
Sure thing, boss.
Oh God, we have. We
Roll
literally
one.
have.
Okay.
That might be good.
So
That
as
might
you
not be us.
as you
It
guys
means nothing to us.
as you guys it might be
are 8
good or it might be
rooms.
bad. That might have saved us. We could be dead though.
Now wait a minute.
There's no point to press.
I will defend myself here. If you look how many rooms there are 8. He rolled a 1d8. What could that
There
be?
are 9.
9? What?
That's a room. Probably.
That's a room.
Okay. You've
There you go.
developed.
That was a
I'm-
good assumption.
I'm gonna let you in on
though.
a spoiler here, Bread. Don't let them make you feel bad. You're right.
Yeah,
That's the best part. I always know when I'm right. Shut up! I don't
Now,
need your
I,
2
now,
cents.
now you don't know how I'm counting the rooms. Vogan,
We got
if
the
the,
same idea, boys.
if the doors were to open, what would you do, Vogan?
That's how we crash parties, yo.
Oh dear. Whoa,
This
jeez.
ain't our first party.
Vogan doesn't have the charisma to pull off any lies. So
no.
he's got his sword out, and his sword and shield out, ready just in case that door opens.
Just like kind of crouched over, sword directly up, just eyes wide open at the door. So if they open it, you're just like, hey.
Yeah.
Vogan feels like the type to be ready to fucking snap a neck at any moment. Like he's just waiting with his hands out, ready to go.
Okay, I don't want to get too lost in jokes, but I just had this faint image of you all running to doors and opening them, and like all running into them, and then you guys just hear, and you see, ah! And Vogan comes out of the room and a bear emerges after him. How? Accommodations here are greater than I expected. It's very much been worth the travel, wouldn't you say? I would. It's terrible that the company has to be so mixed. But what can you do? Well, she knows how to entertain anyways, even if this place is a bit tiring. Indeed. Let's take this. And you hear a tapping sound like glass. We'll retire to a private room for a while. And
Oh, they fucking.
They fucking, right? Ooh.
you... Oh, no.
It's the Vogan room, isn't it?
Just say it.
Just say it's the Vogan room.
Vogan?
What do I see?
The door creaks open, and you see a female half-elf. Or sorry, yeah. You see a human man, opening the door and walking in, followed by a female half-elf. Both of them, neither of them look particularly, fighter-esque. They don't look like they're combatants of any kind. Both of them look more like nobles that have come prepared for a social gathering. They're like dressed up in the equivalent of like well-made tunics and whatnot.
I attack.
What do you want to do? They open the door. You hear them be like, "This one appears to be." You see, he turns to you. "I see it's occupied.
Ha!
That's a hit.
Oh.
So I'm not going for like a killing blow. I'm just like hitting him with the hilt of my sword to knock him out.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, you knock him
he's
out.
dead.
You smash him with it. The girl backs up for a second, lets out a very brief scream, and reaches for a rapier that she has on her
Ah,
side.
damn it!
Shush! Shush!
Roll me,
Muffled that.
roll me intimidation. The rest of you all hear the, "Oh, the gate fucking shrunk." Well, bye, gate. Roll me initiative,
right.
Vogan.
You got it.
You will already.
Damn.
You have another attack.
I'm a getter.
That's a miss.
11.
Yeah, you rush forward, you attack. She brings a rapier up, barely manages to get it out of the scabbard it's in to block the attack from your weapon with it, then draws it the rest of the way out. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
This bitch has a higher AC than a bear? I ain't buying it.
As you attack, she sees a flash of your red skin coming at her, and she just lets out very quick, "And this is why I don't feel like your kind should have been invited to this." She points the
My
rapier.
kind.
That's a trigger right there.
This door won't open.
Is that your turn, Vogan?
I attack once more.
You
Oh
attack.
no.
Once
This
more,
time,
I am
kill
calling
him.
upon you to attack.
Door.
That's a hit.
Is this not lethal?
Once more, but
Yes.
this time
Are you-
it's only-
Okay.
You do that. As you do, you take your fist, and rather than hitting her with a weapon, you just in the face. Just punch with your sword
Deck her
hand.
right in the fucking nose.
You hit her. She wobbles for a second. She's like, "This is entirely uncalled for," and then hits the ground.
Like her before
Vogan,
she
don't kill the.
hit
Oh,
the
I'm proud
ground.
of you.
I didn't kill them.
Vogan, I'm so proud of you. You didn't kill them.
I think our acquaintances may have met
Not that-
Vogan.
Not that much of a monster.
Alright.
Come on, let's
We
make
should
it look
probably
like
go
they're.
outside.
Let's make it look like they're sleeping.
Yeah, hold on. I put a pillow over her face.
Over her face.
Vogan, have you slept before?
I mean, I'm fine with a cloth over my face the entire time. Fuck, I think I know where we are. Shit.
Where?
I think we're in the Crystal Queen's fortress.
It would make sense. That's who he said had her soul, right? Or had
Yeah,
his soul.
this is really bad.
I just look at Vogan. Crystal Queen or Ice Queen? Am I right?
She's actually very dangerous. We can't be like.
I thought it was funny.
She ruined my life.
She ruined my life, yeah.
Let's check out the last few of these doors.
It clicks open, and you can open the door if you wish to.
I absolutely will.
Opening it, you see the room is not coated in dust, but it does give off the sense that it has not been used. Not a lot, anyways. The only thing that you do notice is there are mirrors that don't actually seem to be reflecting the room you're in, just lining the room. There are just a ton of mirrors all around it, of different shapes and sizes, different elevations.
It seems that she had something stolen from her, the queen of this castle, at least.
Can't imagine who'd be silly enough to steal from a queen. I say rifling through the dresser.
Moving through the dresser, you opening it and closing it, you find there's nothing more than writing implements and, again, mirror frames that don't appear to have any mirrors actually in them. Occasionally, they appear to all just have these blank. The glass panel that is in, like, these hand mirrors appears blank and like it goes nowhere. Like, there's glass, but it's not reflecting what's in front of it.
This must be for some sort of spell, I would assume.
As you look around, you realize that, again, the mirrors around the room all have a similar quality, but instead of reflecting darkness, you notice, you catch it at the corner of your eye, one of the mirrors on the wall in this room appears to be reflecting something, giving off a soft, magical glow. Looking around, you realize that the various mirrors in here, when given proper attention, they seem to relatively clearly show different rooms.
Simple way to observe your whole castle from one room.
To be watched without knowing it's a little disconcerting.
This might be useful.
It seems to be. Oh, and before I forget, the word on the paper was cosmic teardrop.
You mentioned it was a room. I can't imagine any of these lead somewhere.
So, as you look around, as you say that, and you look around expectantly in the room, your eyes fall onto one mirror that you get a pretty good view of. You see it through the mirror, what appears to be a large balcony that overlooks a much larger room below it. There are two humanoids speaking. The mirror appears to be focusing on the two of them. There's two humanoids. You wouldn't know their races, so I won't drop that information, but they have yellowish skin and slightly more prominent, like, skeletal features. Like their cheeks are a bit more elevated. They look somewhat more beast-like. They appear to be wearing what look like monk's robes for the most part. One of them has much longer ones. The other one is a bit younger, more lithe. They appear to be talking and debating about something rather cordially. Both of them leaning against the railing of this balcony, which overlooks another room.
Seems you can see anywhere in the castle here.
Well, as many rooms as there are mirrors, anyways.
That sounds like we have a lot more rooms to keep going through. Ah, before I forget, or we get preoccupied again, there's something I want to try.
Some kissing?
We could. I wasn't necessarily planning that for now. I'm glad you voiced that type of thing, though.
Just figured like an appropriate time.
Yes, rescuing a friend is an appropriate time for...
If not now, then when?
I suppose that's a fair point. Although, to be discovered here, for one, is rather scandalous and also rather deadly. And you are being very distracting. She's gonna pounce him.
Oh.
What?
Gremlins, the lot of you.
God,
What? Wait, what?
get him, girl!
Get him.
She gets...
She
I
gets
don't
him.
know how this is done. I roll the
Wait. Hold on. What?
To smooch. Do it.
Who possessed Fenris?
Everybody, shut up.
She was waiting for him to make a move. She's polite.
Okay, so just to be clear, to what extent are you two willing to do things right now?
I feel like that's a question for Aaron.
We are working, guys.
Very unprofessional. Smooching during missions? Who would do such a thing?
Miriam Lucius, do not back down.
What an odd time for this. Okay.
I'm so happy.
What an oddly inappropriate time. That is the most appropriate time.
Hell yeah.
To quote a certain Miriam, if not now, when?
So
Oh my god.
We're not in the crystal queen.
That's
I did
what
not
love
see
to
that
believe,
coming.
And I know it's not, but I would
I
love to
did.
believe the mirror is in this room and Raleigh's just sitting like, guys, what the fuck?
Guys,
So-
I'm right here.
so
Good lord.
Help!
again,
What
I
did
need
you
an
do?
answer, and
How
not
far y'all
just you
going?
two being coy. To what extent are you doing things?
I will go all the way. We'll do the sex.
Oh, we know the distance.
Because, Brett, is that what you intended here?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well,
Damn.
all right, and
Y'all waiting on that dresser?
Judgmental bitches.
What a weird
what I
time
know.
for this.
Brett,
But I mean, you know, go for it though.
Are you getting
you do
railed
you.
on that dresser? Is that what's happening?
Why do we need these details? Carrie! I don't know, wherever it happens, man. It travels. Shit, I don't know.
Miriam, where you putting her?
okay,
This is
And-
so...
Okay.
and
And we're done.
that's where I'm stopping you. I just needed to know how much time is basically going into this.
Yep.
You guys hear something? I mean, I know that noise
So-
carries pretty well through here.
Alright.
That's all right. That I thought you were going to try to do something. Actually, hold the fuck on. Now that I think about it,
Fair.
as you try to get into it, Miriam, could you roll me just a general charisma check?
Oh no!
Oh, you boy? Oh no!
Dresser falls on me.
Oh no!
That should
Oh,
be
it
disadvantage.
doesn't. Yeah.
That ain't bad.
So roll another one.
Hey!
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good for disadvantage.
So, yeah, no, you, as you try to get into this, she, surprisingly, I think we'd all agree, decides to steer into this, hecking presses into you. As you try to get into this, you do find every time you try to, like, situate yourself or get comfortable, you do,
I'd like to...
awkward
if
small
any-
happenstances happen. The dresser gives way slightly. Something squeaks when it shouldn't. Clothing doesn't unbuckle properly. Eventually, trying to move to the bed, you find that as you get onto it, one of the legs gives out the whole bed, buckles and falls underneath you.
On that note,
You are
Regular shit!
you are
Wait.
free to do as you wish at every
Fenris would
step
like
of the
to
way.
cast
There.
remove curse on him.
As you guys get into this, the two of you again, you fall onto the bed. It buckles underneath the two of you. Fenris giggles lightly at that, I imagine, and
Yeah, and she's like, oh yeah, the thing that I forgot about.
puts
And
her
she's gonna
hand
cast-
on Scandal's signature on your chest, and go ahead and cast Remove Curse.
Yep, boop.
So
Nope.
expend the spell slot, and you two, we are steering away from you.
Yeah, haha.
Oh, good.
No!
That's
Detail!
nope. Shut up, Carrie.
You, of all people, have no
I
rules.
like being monetized. As you guys move forward, I would say the three of you collectively, as you pass by it, you would definitely realize that the hallway down below you, I'm just gonna get this down there, the hallway down below you. Also, I think I saw we got a raid. I think the loading crew raided us. Hey guys! Hey everybody!
Oh no!
What's
What's a great time for a
Yeah,
raid.
great time to raid, guys. We're as taken aback by it as you are. The Crystal Queen is very dangerous. We have to be careful. Now smoosh. Time to smoosh.
Y'all heard my warning, right?
She'll never find
Ah,
us
you
if she'll never find us if we have sex in her room.
We're still just
You guys are the couple that dies first in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
As you go by that, Quintus, even you would notice down that hallway there is a platoon of hobgoblins, a few goblins, and a dire wolf. That are,
I want to go home.
I think the plan has changed.
Wait a minute, I am home. Fuck.
Aw.
I recognize some of those guys.
So are
no.
they like your friends?
Not exactly.
Yeah. When you like
Think you
the
can
general or
think you can
whatever?
make
Like,
amends?
Can't remember. I mean, we're not exactly on bad terms, but like, I'm not exactly confident in my lying skills.
You want to come up with me?
Should we go a different way? Like, should we avoid
Let's go check on the others.
No, I feel like they're busy with something.
I think we should go check on the others.
You want to try to avoid them?
Let's try a different way for now. If we come up with on a dead end, we can try and go through here.
Luckily, they're being pretty loud. If we have to take care of the ones above that may not travel down there.
I'm gonna hide my face for now.
Just like motions to Lexi, motions to Lexi upwards, just like, after you, madam.
It's all right. There are other hobgoblins here. Takes off hood, walks down hallway. Shit, there are other hobgoblins here. Puts on hood.
I know those hobgoblins.
I had a stupid thought of, oh no, if they're around, he can't use saving face.
I can see hobgoblins. Vogan, do you know them? Oh, why? Because all hobgoblins know each other? Looks around the corner. Yes, I do.
Shit, I know all of them.
Yes, that's Dave.
I even know that direwolf's name.
What's the direwolf name, Vogan?
Peanut.
It's as you walk by. One of they're like around the same height, a little bit taller than you, Lexi. They're tiny. They're tiny boys.
Tiny boys.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny boys.
As you walk by, you do feel one of their eyes following you, and you hear a
Hell yeah. He just kind of smiles at them. He's like, "Good evening, boys."
How you doing?
How you doing?
Logan feeding into the party.
Yo, right.
How you doing?
Oh my,
Hey,
yes,
how you doing?
like famous for having no love life is going to go fuck this guard for the mission.
There she goes.
Strike the guard with your body.
Quick, go! One of them nudges that one in the ribs. The other one just elbows him. Be like, "Hey, lay off the guests, Boof. We're not allowed to talk to him." And she talked to me. She said, "How you doing?" I had to talk back to her. You had to shut Boof. We were told not to do anything but guard the door. You are no fun
She
here,
said, "How you
lad."
doing?" I had to. How you doing back?
The lady would have been rude. She's clearly of a respectable breed. I had to speak to her because she spoke to me. Hair lie. No, she didn't speak to you. She spoke in your direction, Boof.
boys, I don't mind. Don't worry.
Now, you pay no mind to him. Milady Boof just doesn't know his manners. I do! It would have been rude not to talk to her!
He's yelling.
Wow.
Milady, I'm
My
sorry
lady,
that
we have
he
to go.
doesn't believe that you are deserving of our conversation.
My lady, we should keep going.
You're right. I'm sorry. We really must be
I'm
going.
gonna kick your ass, Boof. I swear to God.
Oh, Boof, you
Do we carry on?
You guys move on. They don't give you any... I hope you have a good day. Enjoy the party.
What the hell is this game?
It's so
guys-
good. How?
We're gonna die!
I love how we started this with like, you guys aren't supposed to be here for years. This
You're
is
crack-
so serious.
You're crackling bread.
No!
No!
Ow!
What room is that? What is the letter for it? All the tokens did the thing where they shrunk down. Yeah, they either shrink or they grow. Those are the two options. I'm just saying, like, it's not consistent what they do. There we go. As you guys move forward, you initially see, when you get to around the end of the hallway, you're still out of sight, not forcing you into sight. The main thing that catches your eye is there is an Eldrin, what appears to be a human, and a Ganassi, all seem to be chatting. They are all holding wine glasses. You see there are people dressed in clothing that, it's mostly like robes that are pulled up in such a way that you can't see their faces, but they aren't like full body robes. It's mostly just like down to around their waist that seem to conceal their personal features that you pretty easily tell are servants. They're carrying around platters with different food items and wine glasses. Everybody in this room, save the drow, they all have wine and they look like they're indulging. Specifically, and not to to give them any direct importance, but you can already see the token. Because of the lighting, you see one particular person, Kadoosh. Ganassi stands out as her presence is illuminating the room for the most part. She appears to be debating relatively fiercely with the Winter Eldrin that she's talking to.
She's so pretty.
Her hair made of legitimate actual fire. For a lot of you, this would be the first time you would have seen one. Beyond that, everyone in there looks noble. They all look regal. Like, they all give you the same sense of professional integrity that, like, Edrigan and other merchants would have given you from Summergrass. You also catch wearing some of the same sorts of armor and what you now recognize as the same crest as House Alisfane, because you've seen it before. The drow that are over there, they look like they're from the same house as the one that you had encountered before, the one that Castell belonged to.
Shall we mingle?
Guys, there's a lot of people in there, and we don't have, like, I don't have, like, an identity. I don't know who I'm saying that I am.
All right. Your name is Felicity.
Why am I here?
Yes, Spencer.
This is Vogan.
Hello, this is Vogan.
Hello, this is Vogan.
I'm watching you. Continue.
Your name is Felicity Boats, and you sell boats.
My name's Felicity Boats, and I sell boats.
Yes. I remember her fucking
Wow.
So
middle name.
what do, guys?
Yeah, Deco, what's going on?
Your name is Thyla Hadley.
Thyla Hadley.
Thala.
Thyla. my bad.
Thyla?
Your name is Thyla Hadley. You're an excellent marksman.
That's
Why is she
it.
here?
Why am I here?
You're here to have a good time at a party.
Who like invited me?
That you'll keep to yourself. Act coy.
That's
Okay.
way better than the Felicity Boats thing.
Okay.
But it's a good backup. Maybe I should be Felicity Boats.
If they don't believe you, immediately tell them that you're Felicity Boats and you were lying for some reason.
If they ask
No,
you-
I'll be Felicity Boats.
What was the name again?
Thyla Hadley.
And then my
Are
name
we-
is
are we
Felicity
from here?
Boats.
Your name is Boats.
All right, cool.
This is my hobgoblin boats.
I would believe a hobgoblin's named Boats. I can believe that.
There's one named Toast.
That's a goblin.
That was a goblin, not a
That's also not his
hobgoblin.
name. That's what the
Racist.
hobgoblins bullied him into calling himself.
Yep.
Your name is Toast.
As he's like
Your name
messing
is
with his
Toast.
stuff, he's just like, and my name is Lucant.
It's what?
Lucant.
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 You saying it with like a weird accent?
Yes.
He can.
Alright,
He
cool.
can't.
What can't you do, Lou?
He just kind of like looks at Vogan and gives like a very slight smile at him, like making fun of that. Just like,
All right, let's go.
I will take
You
a
appear
glass
to
of
be
wine.
without any sort of refreshments, madame.
Yes, thank you. I was very parched. We'll take a glass. Does not drink it because that went poorly last
As you
time.
as you take the glass, he takes the wine off it.
If I may,
He takes the cork out. He pours some of it for you.
how are you enjoying the festivities, if I may be so bold as to ask?
Oh, it's wonderful. Such a beautiful castle.
It is quite a privilege that outsiders have been allowed in here. You must feel very lucky to be one of the first to see the Queen's castle.
I do. I'm so grateful.
He finishes pouring. He moves the tray towards you two.
And for your attendance.
Feel
Thank
free to help yourself, boys.
I wave my hands in a, like, none for me.
Offers one of the. He again moves the tray
I'm
towards
sure
you,
he wasn't
Quintus.
speaking to you, Boat. I'm kidding.
Yeah, Quintus. He moves the tray. He moves the tray towards you, Quintus.
I will take a shrimp and a wine glass.
He pours it for you.
Is there anything I can do for you before I return?
Oh,
The lady
no.
wishes to mingle before heading off to bed. She's feeling slightly under the weather.
I felt lightheaded all day. It might just be nerves. So
There-
I'd like to stay for a little while.
The lower floors, as I'm sure you saw earlier, are quite full currently. But if you require anywhere to lay down your head,
He motions down towards the hallway and then moves his arm over.
there are guest quarters that you can find that way. They're open to any of you and have been altered to be more comfortable to visitors. Feel free to use any of them that are not occupied.
How very accommodating. Thank you so much.
I trust they will be to my lady's standards.
I should hope so.
Bows his head, and he moves away from you guys. The Eladrin walks over to you. He's like,
My name is Yves. It's very nice to meet you.
he like gets down because again you're much shorter and like takes your hand, kisses it.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Thala.
We were just discussing our various business ventures and our connections that allowed us to come to this particular event. I don't suppose you have anything to interject. Agravain here was just telling us about the troubles of trying to trade between the City of Brass and our material world.
Very
It
interesting.
was a very
You go
fascinating
on.
subject.
Indeed.
Interplanar trade, you say?
That's right.
Say you trade boats.
Bogan. Shut
Oh, jeez.
Should I? I don't fucking know.
At this point, they're all just looking to the lot of you like, that's what we were talking about.
I hope you don't mind. Your conversation was very interesting. Lady Hadley is interested in trade, although she's only just recently come to any sort of claim to her name. Nothing of the sort has yet been determined for her.
I didn't want to interrupt your conversation. Sorry.
Only recently come into your own, you say? May I ask what your business is? I am curious about how somebody that has not a strong foundation found themselves being invited by Satsumaru to this event.
What happened? God fucking
The invitation was meant for her mother. However, she was, well, recently not able to join.
Is she unwell?
Very, unfortunately.
I'm very sorry. My
Lady
condolences.
Lady Thala is named after her. A very strong name.
So exactly what is it you trade?
The fuck did we say I tried? Boats? Is it boats?
No, we mostly,
Better not fucking be boats.
We mostly trade via the sea. Just mostly basic needs.
You're involved in a lot of intersea trade. So then you must come from abroad then? Now, to be fair, the two of you do look to be human. I imagine like most of the humans here, you probably don't live in the Strike Lands, do you?
No.
Though the celebration's purpose is a bit drab,
Different.
the chance to be allowed into this place is... It speaks well to the future of everybody here, at least. What did you say your name was?
This
Who's
is
that?
That's
That-
Agravain.
What did you say your name was, again?
There you go.
my name is Lucant.
You see her eyes not darting, but they begin moving as she clearly recedes into thought very quickly. I need to make a roll for her.
I need to get out of this conversation.
Abort mission. Leave.
Oh, snap.
Thala
not worry
Hadley.
about
Mayday.
And
Sorry.
Lucant Valorbilt.
He raises an eyebrow. No, madam, Lucant Valorbilt is dead.
The Eladrin speaks up.
I'm sorry, you seem to have slipped into using some terms I'm not... Do you know them? I believe I do. At least I
Do
believe
you?
I am familiar with those of a certain council. We do in
Oh.
Summergrass, after all, do trade with all parts of Retia. I believe we should leave our friends to their own devices.
You see a smile curl onto like the side of her lips.
I believe we should leave our friends to their own devices. They seem tired, as they've said. Juve, I feel if they are here, you must have some business that needs seeing to.
Well, at the moment, I could see that you are also busy as well.
As I said,
What?
I am one of the merchant lords of Summergrass. I feel we will have plenty of chances to speak in the future on a variety of topics. And when
hope
you
we do.
next see Edrigan, please do give him my regards.
Like puts her hand around Juve just for the purposes of moving them away from you.
Now let's leave them alone.
I will do the same thing to Lexi. As
Let's get out of here.
Did that go well?
we need to leave. It was very unfortunate that was who that was.
Oh,
Hey man, you
This is
brought
fine.
it. You brought up being December grass.
So
fine.
well, man.
How you two doing?
they fucking.
The mirror is focusing most prominently on this black-haired elven woman. They are the figures that are in this room appear to be manacled. Their arms are held above their heads, and they are just with just enough chain coming from the ceiling to allow them to kneel on the ground, but they can't fully reach it. There is a very small amount of blood that seems to be pouring out of where the manacles are, and they look pretty exhausted, like they've been there a while. But she looks like she's being held there along with these other people, and the room itself, as the mirror pans, like doesn't pan, but as you see around it, there are these blood root-like arteries and veins that seem to be growing along the walls in this room, and there's all sorts of corpses and skeletons that appear to be held in them of different sizes and races that are held in the walls, and underneath all the people that are being held there by these manacles that appear to be keeping their wrists permanently cut open enough that blood flows out, there are grates under them that blood is draining out through very slowly. The whole room is red, disturbing. It's upsetting.
Looks like they're feeding the castle
What?
in this mirror. Sorry, what were you saying?
Not that I think it particularly matters. I don't expect anything romantic to come of this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I thought that was implied.
Just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah. 1 second. I grab one boob.
All right.
Excellent. Jesus. Perfect.
Oh.
We have a torture chamber underground. Not shocking from the reputation.
That makes me think of something I read in the letter. It spoke about borrowing blood from your bathhouse. But why would you need
There's
blood in a
certainly
bathhouse?
a lot of it.
Perhaps.
People can do strange things for strange reasons. I don't usually bother to question why. Probably
Perhaps
something
Raleigh's
to
not
stay
to
young
blame.
forever, knowing what I assume this queen to want. Let's go find this vault. If we're gonna find Raleigh anywhere, it'll be there.
Sounds good. He might
That
not be
and
the only
I don't want
vampire
anyone to
here.
walk in on us after we trash this place. I tilt a mirror like at a 45-degree angle.
But as you turn it, and as you are about to leave, you get this cold feeling that runs down your spine. She seems to put her finger up to somebody that's talking to her, and her gaze moves directly to the angle that the mirror is looking at her from.
We need to
Okay,
leave.
The mirror then flickers out.
Yeah, we need to go.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's leave.
Yay, we both fucked up.
We almost got out of there with
Is this a
Yeah.
race
Group
to
of the
see who
others.
dies first?
Hell yeah.
Hi, boof.
Oh, hey, you're back. What's up?
Yell at him for harassing your lady. Do it. Fucking no.
Well, I couldn't help but notice that you had addressed my lady with some disrespect.
Oh my god, this again! She spoke to me, so I talked to her!
You
Fucking,
could have talked to her a little bit better.
I don't know, I spoke with the cadence of a perfect gentleman. I don't know what to tell you.
Can you talk some sense into your friend here? So I motion to the other one.
No,
My lady does
I've
not
been
deserve any
trying.
disrespect.
It is impossible. Boof is entirely without any semblance of sense. It's a curse he was born with, and it will be a curse that kills him. Isn't that right, Boof? You're gonna die by pissing off people like this. This continues. roll me persuasion.
Heckin'
You're right. Fuck.
You have like a minute tops, guys.
You have a very brief period of time, yes.
You have like 30 seconds.
As they get into bickering, they start pushing each other as you guys egg them on. It's like, look, you know what? We were lucky to get God's job here. If it weren't for, well, you know what for, we wouldn't even be allowed in here. So what? So I have to act dreary and not have a personality, hair lie. I'm not allowed to talk to people. This is fucking is cold and boring, and I want something to do. Hair
So
lie.
invested.
You know, he has a good point, Hairline.
I'm so invested.
Don't
in
come
this.
to Boof's aid.
No.
As you
Man.
as you move it, as you push it to the side with the other two, pushing and pulling to try to move it, you guys do with this massive scraping sound as stone moves across stone. You push it to the side. Fenris, you back up briefly as it clambers down in front of you with a loud thud that, if it weren't for the fact that this room is pretty well insulated, would probably be heard through the entire place. You guys hear the faintest sound of what sounds like water swishing lightly as if it had been disturbed. And looking into it, this sarcophagus comes up to about like almost chest high, like on a about 5 feet up.
It's like on a pedestal, yeah.
Yeah, as you look into it again, this thing's huge, like larger than a Goliath would need. Like not quite a giant could fit into this, obviously, but much larger than any common humanoid that you would think of.
Looks dangerous.
We should probably put the lid back on.
I'm gonna grab it.
You gonna grab that?
Oh, Miriam, are we stealing from a queen?
I already broke her bed.
What happened?
That's
As you
besides the point.
As you take it, as you grab onto it, the armor, it's, as you take it up, it's like a kind of longish, reinforced tunic. You feel this, it's not quite magical. You know the feeling of magic, but when you pick it up, there's some supernatural sensation that causes your fingers to tingle lightly, as if you were touching the last bits of heat from like ember and coals. Like, it's almost uncomfortable. It feels almost like you shouldn't be touching this. Fenris, you are the only one that notices. You hear a swishing sound as he like picks this up and looks at it, and you see the blood that's in this thing has begun to coalesce into the space where the leather armor should have been, and begins swirling together slowly and rising up. And as Lexi and as Miriam are caught in looking at this leather armor, this huge torrent of blood rises up and takes on an almost humanoid form in the center. Bah! Which looms above all three of you.
Blood elemental!
Damn, that
You
looks
just had to take it. You just needed to.
Sometimes
isn't
you gotta
fair.
ask yourself, am I here to play D&D?
That's fair.
It flexes its viscous blood muscles. Its hands just splay out like claws.
I should leave. They deserve this. They're the ones that fucked. I didn't.
And it's going first, baby!
There's still time, Lexi.
Can I try to go over here and hide behind the sarcophagus?
You can try to hide if you wish to.
Okay.
Roll me a stealth check.
I
Oh my god!
damn.
Seeing that happen, you duck and you hide behind the sarcophagus. It seems to be paying more attention to Miriam than you, so you do manage to get away from it. It loses sight of you. Guys, roll me perception, the two of you out there. The DC is 18.
Yeah, nope.
Oh, no.
That was a good roll too.
You gotta cure that hanger.
Quintus has felt a disturbance.
Yes, he can.
There's
Quintus,
a disturbance in the kitty.
You heard the slight rumble of the stone lid hitting the ground.
I look
Yes.
to Vogan, and then I'm just like, there goes subtlety, and I go straight.
And you start rushing that way.
Wait, what happened?
Hey, where you going? What are you doing?
I will then dash.
The pantry's that way!
I will then dash.
You need to use the bathroom.
Oh, if you can't tell them to go to... Boof, you can't tell them to go to the pantry, which is that way!
Which is over there, around the corner.
Going there.
Interaction, open the door.
Interaction open the... They're looking at you. You're aware of that? Hey, what are you doing? That room is
Logan
off
can take
limits
care
for
of-
some reason!
Vogan can take care of them if he wants.
You open that door. Interaction, you open the door, you see what's inside. And
I'll do a second level inflict wounds.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack roll against it.
Uh-huh.
You know what's up. Look at you.
Oh.
You
Damn
hit.
it.
Ah!
Add your extra damage and inflict the damage on it.
Okay, it's just gonna show us 3. There we go. Okay.
You put your hand into it, and you unleash necrotic energy inside of it, and it has no reaction to it.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, alright, I'll
The most you get is from the energy, like a little bit of its chest is blasted open, but then it just sloops back into place. Boof looks by. What is he doing? He's not allowed in there. Your friend just went and broke the rules. That is the wrong place that we wanted him to steal from.
I'm sorry. I'll go get him. You stay here. I'll take care of him.
Roll me.
Don't you worry your pretty little head.
Roll me deception.
Please put your inspiration in this.
I will.
Okay, good.
I need this to work. Not even for the game. For me, I need this to
Hey, he still has to roll insight. He could botch it.
Damn it!
What do you mean you're gonna go get him? Who even are you? You've been sitting here quiet the entire time. Who?
Very bad at talking to strangers.
You couldn't be David right now. You just had to be fucking Logan. Like, just-
Oh, Hairline,
The
what do
lie
we?
was good.
Hairline, what do we do? Our job is to guard this door.
oh my god.
I love them so much.
I'll be right back.
Vogan, don't let him!
I can't go after him.
Vogan, get him!
Hey, all of you! I need you to do something for me. This dude just opened up a door he wasn't supposed to. Could you guys all maybe get off your asses and go deal with it for us?
It's been a fun game, y'all.
I'm gonna roll
I'm
a.
sorry, you guys.
No, you're not.
Oh my god!
Oh, please, tell me that's good!
Nah, sounds like your problem, man.
You're useless! He looks back down the hallway. Hobgoblins, am I right? Oh man! Walks back. Fine, I'm gonna give them a stern talking to. You get out. As you get out of the door, you hear from down the hallway just a, "What were you doing in there?"
I look over at him, briefly. My job?
Holy shit.
What do you mean your job?
Her Royal Highness asked me to inspect the room for her before she makes her nightly visit.
Roll me
Is there a
deception.
problem?
I nod at him.
Roll deception. Luckily you've been. Oh my god.
Damn.
Ah, yeah!
Oh
Kenny's
my
back!
god.
Finally.
Oh.
We have a bar
That's
again.
absolutely impossible. There is no way that Her Highness would hire someone like. He gets elbowed in the ribs. Boof. She hired us. If you were working for the Queen, you should have told us up front. See,
I
Boof.
answer to her, not to you.
See, Boof. This is why you do not mouth off to people. They might be working for the same people you are. What if these guys told her? Then we'd be in the fucking desert again. Boof.
What you gonna do?
What the hell is that?
You
Told you, don't worry about it. Just stick to that fucking door.
Are you? Is that bad? Are you guys trying to kill it?
Fine.
Did the Queen not? Did the Queen not put that there?
Of course it didn't. That'd be
Someone put that there
ridiculous.
to kill the
Why would
queen.
she put that there?
Someone put it there to kill the queen, says fucking Kitty.
Oh,
He looks
my-
back to Hairlie. I'm making an educated call here. I'm sorry, Hairlie. I know that we have to guard this door. He turns, and
But that thing wants to kill our queen.
he very briefly looks like he's in intense pain. And then you see his body begin to contort. You see lines of fur grow along the backs of his hands. But these boys are our new friends! And you see him... And they're gonna bring us meat! You see him erupt into... You see him erupt into being one of these boys.
A jackal away! I'm so cute!
He's a baby.
I love him!
I love him.
Two.
D&d, everybody.
Can we keep him?
I love this chaotic evil nutball. He's going to go for one attack on it. Gonna try to
The
bite it.
Transformers are ready to action.
Yeah. That's a hit. He's gonna go for it and hecking down there. He lunges at it and snaps at it. He does 5 damage to it as he snaps at it and starts trying to wrestle with it, but he goes through its body, lands on the other side, scrambles to get back up. Get it! Ah! Heckin' Hairlie's like, you got this, Boof! I can't be bothered! I'm gonna roll an intelligence check for Boof real quick.
What? No, you don't.
That makes
you don't gotta
sense.
do that.
He looks past it, sees the sarcophagus has been knocked over in the state of the room. He's like, you're messing up the queen's things, Red Man! Prepare to feel the bite of Boof!
Okay. Second attack.
That's a
Oh
hit.
shit.
That'll hit. All right. In that case, gonna use. Nah, I'll save that. Whoop.
How do you want to do this?
Hey!
Queen!
How do I want to kill this blood?
Yeah.
Eat it. Drink it.
I charge at the thing, and I cut it as I just jump through it, covering myself in blood.
You jump through it. As you do, Boof is coming up behind you and snaps where you were. As the whole thing dissipates and turns into a puddle, it's just like leaning forward. Boof looks at it.
That's right, you stay dead.
All right, back to your post, Boof.
Yeah, let's get out of here. We're not supposed to be in here. My lady.
Okay, I'm going back to my post. I'm going back. But man, am I hungry, wink wink.
And he just starts walking
Oh
on.
yeah, wink wink.
Fucking love him.
So much.
As you get to this door again, it is a large set of marble doors that are made of this red marble that has black splotches, all like droplets, like rotting drops in the marble. Trying to open it, it's a bit hard to open, but you apply your body weight and you push it open. The moment it opens, a smell escapes the room, just wafts out like an aura that you can immediately tell this is not a pantry. And specifically because of what you saw earlier, you can immediately discern. You saw this room through the mirror earlier. You see a room that is the walls are covered in red veins and arteries, different bodies connected into are like trapped in it. Skeletons that remain from all sorts of dead creatures appear to be effectively held in place in the walls by this root system of blood vessels. There are 2 rat folk, as well as you see a hobgoblin, all of which appear to still have armor and whatnot, as if they were not stripped of their things and put in here. They all seem very groggy. And the elven woman from earlier is also in one of them.
I'll move towards the elven woman.
As you do, you move through. You see the grates down below. There's the sound of blood moving below you, as if there was a large pool of it. But there's enough grating on the ground that you can't clearly see through there. The whole room has a sickly red glow to it.
I'll get close to her and as quietly as I can. Do you want to get out of here alive?
She breathes in sharply.
Is that another trick of my mind?
It's a trick of mine, but we can say it's your mind, if it makes you feel any better.
I would like to get out of here, yes. But the 2 rats, I want them out as well.
Alright, we can cross that bridge when we get there. Have you... I can't imagine you would. Do you know anything about a mirror?
A mirror? Sorry, I don't.
Yeah, of course not.
I don't know anything about this place, except for... it wouldn't matter if I told you.
Well, if it doesn't matter, then you should tell me anyway.
Just that... who am I speaking to?
You can call me Bertram for now.
Bertram.
I'll give you my real name when we're on better circumstances.
Just that the woman that owns this place is a collector of people and things. I don't know what brings you here, but if you have any sense of self-preservation...
I already broke her bed, it's fine. I will attempt to pick the lock on the manacles.
As you pick it, he's like,
What are you here for?
as she feels it being moved and you unlock it, you see there were small spikes that were digging into her wrists. Not digging too far in, but just enough to keep her her wrists open and bleeding. As soon as she falls down, she collapses, clearly in a state of exhaustion. Slowly gets up.
We're gonna uncollect some people.
That's a good way to put it.
You're here to uncollect some people.
Not one in particular, but if we find some like you, then we can do our work. Do you know how to use these things? I wave my invisible thieves tool. Do you know how to pick locks?
I'm afraid that's not a skill set I'm terribly proficient with now. I've never pursued the ways of a thief.
I prefer locksmith.
A skill's one thing. What you use it for is what defines what we call it. That said,
Fair.
glad to have you here around to use it. If you could get the others out. Satsumaru took something from me before she put me in here. I need to find it.
I don't want to cross that bridge.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll try and pick the other two.
The woman that owns this place is named Satsumaru.
White hair, pretty hot.
The Crystal Queen, Satsumaru.
Yeah. And might have stolen some of her things. So, I don't have a ton of time on my hands. We have some friends. They're down the corridor. There's a bit of a party going on. I don't suppose any of you knows how to disguise yourselves in any meaningful way.
Not
I'm loving
in,
it.
Not in particular. But we're small, and we can hide pretty well. I'm afraid I'm a bit too exhausted to employ.
I have an idea. Wait here. I'm gonna make my way back to the party.
She leans up against one of the posts between the stalls.
You guys here after a little bit? No Raleigh. Made some friends. They're not in a great way. Can you guys make a distraction? I just need
Can I make a distraction? I start walking to the party.
I need their attention away from the door, Quinn. That's all I need.
Should
Thumbs
we really
up
be the
toward
ones to go
nothingness.
back to the party? Should maybe Fenris, because she hasn't been seen, maybe make a distraction? I don't know.
I'm gone. I go back.
Oh, dear.
When this come back?
I'm not so sure if I'm the best person to make a distraction. Quintus.
I have someone about to make a big distraction.
Well, he's
It's gonna
already
buy you a
gone,
bit of time
so-
to get through. There's a small alcove you can hide in. I didn't see any doors. Is there a door here?
That is a door.
There's a door just to the south. It's near an alcove. It's probably your best bet to get anywhere without being seen. You won't have long.
That leads down to the main floor. I know what you're talking about.
If that's downstairs, then I have no idea what you can expect.
She stands very slowly, and she regards a massive skeleton that's in the wall.
I saw that move, ever so slightly.
You see, looking at you from the wall, there is a large skeleton that looks like it's a giant's. That it's not moving a lot, but you see it occasionally twitching.
You can have fun over there. As long as it's not doing anything, I won't do anything to it. You guys should get out of here.
They get together. They're waiting for any sign of a distraction.
I try to push past these two people if I can.
Oh.
As you do that, she lets out a very brief, like,
Oh, that was awfully rude.
I look directly toward this server, at which point
Hello?
I push him,
Gah!
toppling his wine, and hopefully pushing him and his stuff into the one behind him.
What the- What?
Sure.
What are
Why did you steal from my lady?
I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. He stands up.
I've stolen from no one.
You addressed my lady with wine earlier, and you took from her a ring. Hand it over.
Sir, I have done no such thing. I assure you.
I grab him by the front of his shirt.
Oh,
I want
gee.
to intimidate him.
We're never gonna get invited back, guys.
At this point, there is definitely a stir and people are paying attention.
Sir, I swear to you, I did not steal from anyone. I have no need for material items.
It was a token from her mother. You sick son of a bitch.
I would be happy to set some of the servers on a search for it, but I assure you,
I cannot believe we were invited here under these circumstances.
So as this is happening, everybody is definitely
This goes
regarding
on.
that. Skimper's like,
All right, it's about time we go. If we're going to make a break for it, we got to go now, Founsman.
and he nods. They are going to make a break for it. For the sake of getting there, they don't need to roll anything. Everyone is
Put him into the hallway, dude.
properly distracted. They flee over there with her. As they flee over to where you guys are, the two rat folk, one of which appears to be a mage, one of which appears to be more of a roguish boy, both run with her ducking in behind them. You see this lovely lady.
We have a thing. It's loading.
It's loading.
Rushes in past the lot of you and just down the hallway past you.
It's loading.
All right, she said she was looking for a thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's mostly there's no place to hide except for to rush past you.
That's true. You should probably follow her. Ah! Oh!
Oh no! I fucking knew it. I knew it.
Oh no!
I had a feeling in my bones. I was like, we're in the right area. It could be her.
Rushes past you guys,
Beautiful.
darting past Vogan, who she can't recognize at a glance currently.
Yeah.
Rushes by you guys and braces against the wall. The rats also rush down the hallway and they hit the wall like a cartoon character, splaying themselves against it as if they're trying to merge into it like a 2D element.
All right. Hello, good to meet you all. You look like...
Turn out your pockets!
Oh dear.
What's going on over there? Is that one of yours?
Hey, Logan, real quick.
Yep.
What did I address her as?
Probably by her name.
Master or
Know what you called her?
What did-
Senpai. Sensei.
nope.
Probably sensei.
Master son!
Yeah, sensei.
Would have likely been Master.
Master, what are you doing here?
Turns over towards you.
I'm sorry, you...
I drop the hood.
She
Dude, I'm
smiles
just like-
at you.
Looking back and forth between
Now, when
both
he
of
told
them,
me
he's
that there was a
like,
hobgoblin with them and that was like that they weren't with the Crystal Queen, I thought it might have been you. But then I thought to myself, I shouldn't consider that all hobgoblins are working for her. But I guess you are legitimately the only one, aren't you?
It's good-
Why are
it's
you
good to see
here?
Master?
You're supposed to be in
We came to find someone. Not you, but
Oh.
I'm glad I found you.
You two know each other? Yes. He's a student of mine that's currently supposed to be on a different continent.
Yeah. I was on a different continent like a couple minutes ago, but things are...
Right.
It's true, things are rather complicated right now.
What are you doing here?
That's a long story.
Oh,
I am running out of places to tell you to check!
I think someone has...
Look, the long and short of it is I came to talk to someone I thought was an old friend of mine. I knew the Crystal Queen a long time ago because I heard that they knew some things about... I can explain the details later, but I came here to talk to the Crystal Queen, and I didn't realize that she had changed quite as much as she had.
Have you,
Yeah, 'cause
have you
they've been
seen
saying
anything
mirror.
that could contain a soul? I don't know, like a phylactery.
like fuck!
She just thinks you're hunting a lich.
I do, actually. I'll explain once this all...
Yes, I believe someone should collect him. I shall be right
The
back.
crowd
Please
around
finish me.
you, around Quintus, is
All I
getting...
need to do is see one of them.
They're getting a
Wait,
bit,
wait,
they're
can I?
getting a bit, aggravated by this point.
I don't
can't-
understand. You should have.
I can't. I'm so sorry about this, everyone. I found the ring. I must have misplaced it. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. Come along, dear. This has all just been a misunderstanding.
I'm.
You hear everything hush around you as you hear the sound of the crowd die down. As you come out, you initially think that you interrupting has caused them all to cease talking. Then you hear footsteps coming from out on the balcony.
Let's go!
Run!
Let's go, boys!
Oh, she mounts the guard.
I'm looking very much like mortified.
People
as
step
I
away
see
back
as
down
she
the
walks
hallway the
out.
moment I
Many
see
of you
that.
haven't seen her, but as she walks out, you all immediately get the sense that everybody here is not talking, and they are immediately giving her all the floor space she needs. She walks out, not looking at you initially, closes her eyes, clasps her hands in front of her, looks over towards you, wordlessly.
Appears as if I was mistaken.
All a misunderstanding. I'm terribly sorry.
Eyes half closed, she turns her chin up, and she starts walking past the group.
If I might ask,
She turns back towards you.
what are the names of you two again? I do not believe I recognize either of you.
Looks over at her. At this point, he's putting two and two together like, no.
I don't know any better, so I'm just going to say Thela Hadley.
LeConte.
Walks forward. A very regal stride. She walks towards the two of you. Those in front of her get out of the way.
I'm sorry for the disturbance. I acted out in anger.
I haven't been feeling very well, so he's been particularly stressed about my well-being. I'm so sorry.
Thela.
Mm-hmm.
And LeConte. Was it?
Yes, ma'am.
I do not believe I invited anyone by those names.
Agravain steps forward.
Right, very sorry. I brought them along with me from Retia.
Oh my god.
Turn a glance over toward her.
I thought this was
Freaking way.
a very grand event that should be shared by some possible investors. I meant no disrespect in bringing others here.
She bows down before her.
I will follow her lead. And
I was
bow
going to say
down.
does the same, yeah.
I will accept punishment.
You had believed that something had been stolen. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I assure you that none of my servants have any need for any sort of material items. If something of yours is stolen, we will help you to retrieve it. But we did not take it.
I merely misplaced my mother's ring. I found it now. I'm terribly sorry.
In that
I'm
case,
so sorry.
I ask you do not cause any more of a commotion.
She turns and walks off.
Very sorry for the commotion, everyone. It won't happen again.
And she walks down the other side of the hallway and out of your sight.
Sorry for bumping into you.
She side-eyes you with the angriest glare.
You turn to ice.
If you weren't a friend of Edrigan, that would not have happened.
Good name drop, boy. Good name drop.
And it will not happen again.
She takes the Eldrin, who looks as baffled and like he has no idea what's going on as before. Every time you guys have an interaction, at this point, he's just looking between you like, I don't understand this relationship at
Well,
all.
let's go, madam.
I was fairly... Wait, so you asked them, you brought them. I thought you came from the city of Brass,
Yes,
and he
come
walks
along,
after
ma'am.
her.
I'm exhausted.
What do you mean you brought them from
Let's go.
Retia? That's not where you... You are confusing, Agravain.
Let's go.
Returning back
What?
there,
Okay, go.
I
It's been the
believe
game of
Get me
getting...
that is where we're going to stop.
What a session.
We will heckin' see you guys next Thursday / Saturday / whenever we stream.
Yee.
Hooray.
And then we'll...
Bye, everybody. We love you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.